the Detroit Lions are on the hunt to bolster their receiving core to complement emerging talents like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pro Football Focus analyst Lauren Gray has pinpointed a golden opportunity in the NFL draft that could plug this gap: Ricky Pearsall from the University of Florida. Hailing from Chandler, Arizona, Pearsall has emerged as one of the premier slot receivers in this draft class. His versatility and standout skills make him an enticing pick for the Lions, especially with the 29th selection looming. While he began his college career at Arizona State, it was at Florida where Pearsall truly shone, with an impressive 2023 season, tallying 65 receptions for 965 yards and 4 touchdowns. His ability to contribute as a runner is also noteworthy, adding an extra dimension to his game. With Josh Reynolds departing in free agency, the need for depth at the wide receiver position for the Lions is evident. While Jameson Williams shows promise, his consistency is yet to be proven. Of course, Detroit has other needs, such as fortifying their defense, but if Pearsall is available when the Lions' draft clock ticks, it could be a game-changing pick. After a historic season that saw the Lions reach the NFC Championship game for the first time in decades, now is the time to build on that progress and seek out the right players to further elevate the team's level. So, Detroit Lions fans, what are your thoughts on the idea of drafting Ricky Pearsall? Do you believe he would be a valuable addition to the team? Detroit Lions safety Kirby Joseph found himself in the midst of controversy due to a pair of hits that resulted in injuries for opposing players. While patrolling the middle of the field, the second-year safety delivered hits that unfortunately caused tight ends T.J. Hockenson and Tyler Higbee to endure season-ending injuries. These incidents prompted many to examine the seriousness of low hits, such as the ones Joseph executed on these players. In his first media appearance since suffering the Week 16 injury, Hockenson addressed the legality of Joseph's hits while still recuperating from his ACL and MCL tears. "I know Kirby pretty well," Hockenson remarked, as reported by ESPN. "I've played with him. I don't necessarily think it was intended to injure. You go back on the tape and you see what happened. I know him. I don't think it was. I just want to make sure it wasn't, and that's why I'm using my voice here. Players protect players. That's in any facet of the league. You don't want a defensive guy headhunting or knee hunting, and the same thing for an offensive guy." Hockenson acknowledged the challenges faced by undersized defensive backs aiming to thwart completions to larger targets. He refrained from accusing Joseph of intending harm but rather aimed to shed light on the prevailing situation. Joseph himself has expressed that his intention was not to inflict harm with his low hits. Lions coach Dan Campbell supported his player, affirming that the team instructs its players to target their opponent's thigh board in such scenarios. "It's tough," Hockenson admitted. "We're big guys running through the middle of the field. This is a business, and I don't think anyone goes out on the field wanting to injure a player like that. So, I'm looking at the light of that and hoping that's not what the intent was, to injure a player in that sense. But I think to have it happen a couple of weeks later, to Higbee, I think that's something the league needs to examine and see what it can do." What are your thoughts on the situation? Do you think the league needs to take further action to prevent such injuries?